It is definitely time to not shout about the game, but I want to quickly mention, it's been 4 weeks since we had any official game in EU to go down, Fluke, and that means that a lot can possibly have, changed in strategies or playstyles for these teams. And that means, even though we all voted Rogue, Virtus.pro might be onto something.
I mean, it's one of those things as well, it's an online major, obviously, due to the current situations and all that we can really do. I'm sure that there's thoughts and kind of a bit of a blessing there for the hands of Rogue fans is saying, okay, well, we're a great online team. Sometimes things haven't historically landed on the LAN stage, as we all know. This is their home territory. This is where they mentally have just seemed the strongest. So to be able to actually have the play space here, I'm wondering if that's something where they can go, okay, this is ours.
Should we still curse them with the land curse, though, considering they swapped out 2 of the players? It's the same thing that we say this G2 is no longer the same G2 that won so many titles. Do we still hold them to it, though? Like, would they not have been able to win it? Would this be on a LAN? That is my question.
I mean,
of course, we're not even run around
Listen, Hap, listen.
All right.
My job's to build storylines, okay? This could be the end.
Build some storylines.
This could be the end of such a beautiful storyline for them for now. This could be a moment for them to tie things together. We saw just talking about storylines the other day and how you can kind of twin them to teams and twin them to histories, but this would, in a way, be their first grandstand showing on a major, regardless of the technicalities that get put forward. Hey, Cafe Dostoyevsky. Hey, Ying's gone, as is Wamai. So that's a kind of back and forth there with the usual Thatcher and an Echo.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
And that means that the Goyo will be open, an operator that has been highlighted before on the analyst desk. And let's see how much actual impact it will have during this matchup. It's something that we've often seen from Virtus.pro. Just set up these Goyo shields to hold yourselves a bit tidier, a bit tighter onto the top floor. Make sure that it stays in your control, and that's exactly what they will do. I like the mirror window placement, though. They place onto right here. There we go.
There we go. Who is Observer? Is it easier? Or
I think it's Medics.
Is it Medics?
I think it's Medics. Medics, if it's you, nod.
Not the camera. There's the nod.
There we go. It's Medics. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Obviously, all across the world right now, but we're going to make it work for you guys out there watching. I'm sure we've already seen the polls, the predictions. We saw the unstoppable Giscout there on screen a second ago. A lot of love for her. She's going to be keeping an eye on, I'm sure, keeping chat entertained as well with all of her hellos when we get the 6 plays that we're expected to see. And, well, it looks like Rogue aren't going to waste any time. Immediately collapsing towards both sides of the building. Leon is applying some pressure here on the terrace side and making sure that they know that there is some presence. The old-fashioned hammer and anvil that applies a bit of stress to both sides. Applies a little bit of an, okay, well, we're back here, but we're also here. There's no place that you can comfortably turn your head and sit and wait and hope you're not blinkered anymore. We're going to tear those off and then try and put bullets through the gaps we make.
Basha straight away, trying to hunt down some of these drones with the evil eye that has been placed up above. Won't be able to find any, though. As he will, however, find the first kill. Aces will drop and will fall. It's the Ash off the board, and, well, you might think it's just the entry fragger, but the 2 breaching rounds that she brings is going to be so important to deal with these Goyo shields or evil eyes later in the round.
Yeah, obviously you look at the history and the heft that ACs can bring to an opener and to a frag, and you kind of think when he's off the board first, okay, sure, Rogue don't usually have the best entry stats, I believe, but, you know, what they can do in the middle of a round when, you know, him or Leon are able to just kind of turn on that pressure, turn on 2, 3K, they're big eyes to watch, and being able to remove them from the equation of that middle round maths is something that's really going to play into the favor of Virtus.pro, because when push comes to shove, that's always where a lot of teams fumble and fall. This is where Rogue obviously need to try and build themselves around. A close quarters confrontation happens, and WTG takes it, just gets the drop there on Leon. And, well, you talk about the 2 players that need to be big in the middle of the round, and both of them, unfortunately, are sat out.
Both indeed dropping first, 1 minute left. Also translates to 60 seconds. There's only the 3 up to Rogue right now to try and get this first round in. Of course, it's still Cafe. It's a defense side of map, but you want to start off as strong as you possibly can. And not being able to find a single response as of yet is not really the way to go. We're counting down. 45. Rogue seem to have an idea of where they want to go from. It looks like they just want to force themselves into the side, but WTG is waiting. Has that shotgun available. The M59 is going to be able to pick up 1 at least. Corey will be able to respond as the X-Kairos will be going off. Rips will be finding yet another kill. And suddenly we find ourselves in a 2-on-3 situation where the top floor control slowly got established before they fell off to the bottom floor to get that plan down.
Habana Breach not quite going the way you want it to is nothing that you want to see at this moment in time. They're trying to apply a little bit more pressure onto the wall and get it opened or at least get it covered, but the crossfire is there from deep, instantly shut down by Corey from range. However, 7 seconds on, you've got to get the diffuser down. They still have verticality and you have barely a fraction of health. All they need is a graze of a bullet, but Corey is keeping him alive until Rask drops from the heavens and drops the first round of this entire major into the hands of Virtus.pro.
Almost. Rogue managed to bring it back there that first round. It seemed like a VP round, at least till the 60-second mark, Fluke. And then somehow they managed to squeeze themselves through, get these gunfights in their way. If just a simple air jet would have been deployed on that door, might have been able to save him. And in that case, win the round for Rogue. However, VP managed to hold on, just barely though. As it was a 1-on-2 situation, but the time ran out, meaning that the last kill was the one who managed to win it. VP surely will be taking that win, considering how they got it.
Fireplace, second up on the board, the old-fashioned, you play around the train room, you keep it solid, but I say old-fashioned, the fact that they're avoiding bar, and the fact that they're avoiding, obviously, the kitchen, which are statistically the most commonly picked points, do you think that's a bit of a play of Virtus.pro to try and push Rogue off, or do you think that's a response to the bans?
It is something we see more often, actually. Either a team completely avoids the top floor or the kitchen, and often it seems to be turning out into the top floor being completely avoided. Now, some say that is due to the fact that people are just not as comfortable on the top floor and that the other sides are just statistically or theoretically better, not statistically that is, and thus they choose to opt for those more than the top floor. The top floor is a side that everybody's super comfortable attacking as well, and maybe you force your opponent a bit out of that comfort zone here as a Shockwave runs out, picks up a kill, and starts things off yet again in favor of VP.
That's twice. VP have just shown up, shown aggro, and shown Rogue the door before they even begin to try and find themselves inside the map. It's a very quick blow to a team that obviously is in this as the expected winners. We all predicted it, Chad as well. It's one of those matchups where, sure, Virtus.pro are a very good team, but they're pushed back against the wall. They only just scraped through into this top four. But at the same time, they've had time to prep, time to prepare. And if they can bring this bit of aggression, they can bring this bit of fire, the same fire that got this roster into Pro League from their run through Challenger League, the same roster that has done bits on big stages where they've been able to show everybody up as the underdogs before, it's so hard to deal with. They're so good and so consistent at just always being there, always finding new angles, new holds, and new ways to try and take your team apart.
C4 prepped below. Shockwave just waiting for a bit of a call. Sound call maybe. Once C4 goes off, not going to be able to hit anybody. As Kozheka continues to open up from above with that hammer. Ace is on the hunt. They're trying to find out these two roamers because the top floor control is still not completely under control. And as I say, that Mission will be able to take down Kozheka from below with the Alva. Rogue forced back onto the drones, trying to get this information out of C4, still popped below them. They don't even have the control on top floor as there is still two on the eastern side as a Mission picks up yet another one. Shockwave gets another one as well. It's all up to Aces now in a 1v5 situation, Fluke.
Wow. He was the first off the board in the first round and he's the last standing in the second. This is in no way the start that Rogue wanted, but Virtus.pro, you've shown up. You've shown strong and you've just shown a second round that has been flawless and beyond anybody's expectations and belief. How much can you keep this going? Obviously, Rogue, we expect them to be able to battle back. It's a shaky, slow start, but, you know, they've had time to prep, had time to get their heads together. You look at the start of their season, when this roster first came together, it was a kind of similar story. They weren't firing as sharp as they were towards the middle and end of the season. They were, you know, able to get battles in, but it wasn't the same roster. It wasn't the same comfort and kind of confidence. Here they seem a little bit lax and relaxed so far. Obviously, the beautiful teamwork in the first round almost pulled it back for Corey and Rips. But hey, Rogue, we're looking for that ferocity that we know that you can bring.
Of course, it's the best of 3, meaning you have that first map to get a bit warmed up, try and find out how your opponent plays, how they have prepared for you.
Best of 3 is hype.
See,
In EU.
it's big hype. It
Big
is
hype.
big hype.
Big hypes
indeed.
in chat.
And, well, I mean, we often said it about G2, right? Back in the day, back in the good old days, you know.
In the old days.
They needed the first map to warm up, and after that, they completely started rolling.
Yeah.
So even if this first map would be going to VP, it would not mean the end of the world.
I think it's the thing as well about Sieges. There's so many stories of sweeps and reverse sweeps and responses in that manner where you don't really get the full stretch and full tell in best of ones. That's just, you know, it's the nature of the beast and the nature of the setup. Sure, now we get to see these teams that we've had little glimpses. We've had the continental buffet experience of these EU teams. Now we're getting the full delicacies, the full meals. I'm kind of hungry, Hap.
You're making me hungry as well right here, Fluke, but we still have a full best of 3 to go for as Leon Gates trying to go in early. We'll be able to find the entry frag here. Sees a second one, but he's not going through the peak quite yet. Submission on the bar, trying to hold him off, as in the meantime the rotation is also being held. He finds the entry, but is he going to be able to find more from there? Yes, he will. Picks up yet another kill. Shockwave will fall, and that is going to be the double entry that Rogue needed to get going on this tertiary bomb side to potentially land them their first round.
The sheer pace of Leon to get inside to coat room there to be able to try and put bodies down from Virtus.pro is exactly what they needed. There was a bit of complacency in their movements before, a bit of expectation that obviously Virtus.pro blew out the water. This is Leon going, okay, no. Turning it on, turning on that pressure and turning on the aggro. Sure, Amizian gets a big drop deep from inside kitchen, across the metal surfaces, and a grenade finds Pasha. Ojeka is able to get one back. But in the meantime, look at the difference in pace. Look at the panic now in the players of Rask as they're trying to find their way back to get some hold and some solidity. We know Rogue can work very well in this moment as well. But they've got the opening too. They can try and hold power, hold control. They've got a minute 30, plenty of time for them to reevaluate and reassess how they actually want to put pressure onto this kitchen. And it's down to the 2 remaining Virtus.pro players. Wow, to do things like that. Great pickup there from Amizian.
And they're also aware that someone is going to be coming from the bar, and thus Rask tried to go for a flank, but it was Aces waiting there. I believe in code. And now it's all up to a mission now. Removes his back, shows it to the back of the freezer. It's going to get shot from the, well, all 3 angles at the same time, and Rogue able to pick up the round, and that will be their first onto the tertiary bomb side. The kitchen, that is. And now we're going to wait and see whether or not Virtus.pro will be resetting their current rotation, or if they're actually going to be pulling in that top floor fluke. Something they have avoided for the last 3 rounds, and it seems like we're going to kitchen again.
It was a much more promising push there from Rogue, as I said before. They had some immediacy of where they wanted to be and why they wanted to be there. And then from then on, obviously, finding these intense firefights off the door and being able to kind of pull this battle back against Virtus.pro and the kind of intense pressure that Virtus.pro have been able to apply onto the external side of this map, it kind of took VP a little bit by surprise. They weren't expecting the pace and the tenacity of Leon to just push his way through, and, well, let's see if they learn from that. If this is a game of lessons, I guess it's time to see if Virtus.pro learn as well as Rogue do.
They'll have to adapt to what just happened. Leon, who had a very unfortunate first 2 rounds on his birthday, managed to make up for it for the double entry on the 3rd round, which they actually won. And it shows that impact is rewarded.
Happy birthday, Leon.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Leons, in chat.
Can we sing happy birthday in chat? That's the truth.
Good luck, mods, now that we've done that.
Good luck.
There will be probably some, I guess if an interview comes out, Milos is going to give us an operatic rendition of Happy Birthday. I could see him singing.
He better.
Amizian, 6th picking 2 Maestro. Obviously keeping the control and keeping that a bit of surprise, I guess. But with how successful it was before, you know, it's not really going to take anyone off. A slight change of tact here. Maybe they're not entirely sure of, well, how deep Virtus.pro want to go. They're going to take the top floor. They're going to slightly adapt to the push, make sure they don't get caught pushing into coat room with the immediacy that they were before. They expect Virtus.pro to have a response. This is a lot of hot zoning for a man that can do bits with information.
Definitely so. You see Rogue instantly adapting their strategy as well as they realize, okay, we're going to the same floor again. That means Virtus.pro will be changing something up. And thus we need to go for a different approach. And that approach will be going from the top down as they clear the floors surgically with their drones. There's going to be 2 to 3 people on the drones, just getting everything cleared out. There's going to be air jumps deployed on the staircases as well to avoid any late rotations to come up and thus deny the flanks that might happen late round. And we'll set Rogue up to go for yet another execute. All they need to do is open up the right walls and the right floorings to get the right vertical angles.
Pillars control now falls under their territory as well, and with a minute 30, you can see Corey is keeping a big eye outside. WTG is the one that's looking for this at-range firefight, but there's some worry of pressure, some worry of jump outs, which again, against a team like this, you're never quite confident. You never really have the security that you expect. You've seen them do it with Valkyrie before. She's not on the board now, but that in no way stops a roster like that, who have already had great success leaning into that playstyle. Steady destruction still goes on for the vertical control, and now they're going to look to see if they can apply some flat pressure. They're going to try
Such a good drone.
Yeah, it's a really, really great angle there, and that is the man I was about to say. They're going to try and dig out.
Well, flashbangs being tossed in. Breaching round will be used to create a long angle right above the reinforcement, I must say. There's a lot of verticality going on here in the likes of Rogue. Hatch will be opened up as well as you hear the X-Kara Sizz. Surely want to get rid of the guy in VIP first. He is a priority right now. The drone's still there from Aces. Most likely will guide Corey in that window to try and put some pressure together with him. Smoke Ennis is being used. He's fully fleshed right now, but no one is going to be able to try and, well, collapse on that. There's a Smoke Ennis blocked of any potential push to come in. Aces now thinking about going for it. Corey has to be there to try and support him. Leon Gitz is here as well. Knows what is behind the bar, but he will fall yet again. It's going to be the entry def. It's going to be Pasha as well to pick up Aces, and that means, oh, actually a double kill from Pasha to come through, and it's all up to Rips and Kozheka now. Rips finds himself inside. Is not going to be met by anybody else as he goes down for that plant, but surely will be cancelled out as the last member standing indeed will be. Pasha finishes it off with the shotgun. The diffuser will be dropped, the time runs out. VP is going to be the one to go into the lead here, or stay in the lead, I must say, with 3-1.
It was all built around the operator I said they needed to dig out. He was stuck in VIP and I knew exactly why he needed to be there, and my word, did he do it well. Obviously able to stem and slow and stop the pressure coming from AC's, a mix of, obviously, the combination of burning utility, but dropping the smoke when he was flashed, meaning that there was no push, regardless of how kind of off his piece he had been pushed. Now, he still obviously had the canisters, but without the crossfire pressure, without the control of the opposite side, the ground floor bar as well, where obviously Maestro started to do the work he needed to. Well, when it came to time to apply the pressure, Rogue just didn't have it. He spent a lot of time clearing a roam that didn't exist. And that worked very much in the favor of Virtus.pro, who are opting to head back to this fireplace mining dining site and see if they can make it work a second time. This was obviously their flawless before.
Flawless one they had before. Yet again, opting to not go for the top floor. Valkyrie camps will most likely be deployed up there. Looking at the amount of C4s they have available to them, 2 to be exact. Most likely are trying to guide these with the information from the Black Eyes.
5 seconds left.
If they manage to do so successfully, might be able to pick up 1 or 2 kills onto, well, the spearhead of the attack who will be entering first.
Now, obviously on the desk, they did say that this was a good map for Rogue. Cafe is, but it's also showing to be quite a good map for what Virtus.pro want to bring to this firefight. They're not shying away from anything that Rogue is putting forward. And again, that's when we've seen them at their best. That's when we've seen Virtus.pro ex-Forza do these amazing runs, these kind of unbelievable ones where they're able to keep putting out and knocking down teams that otherwise you would statistically expect and historically expect to be able to beat them. You even look so recently as obviously just before this season when we had a little bit of a matchup and a little bit of a clashing heads. Obviously it was for a good cause in the EOC charity tournament, but at the same time, Virtus.pro showed up and showed hard and bought a game out of Rogue, and it was built upon aggression. It was built upon the foundation of let's throw our guns, let's throw ourselves at them, and let's find the fire, and let's not shy away from it because that's when they work best. And well, if a team gets a little bit, as I said before, complacent about these kind of situations and this kind of playstyle, it doesn't really bode well. Rogue steadily clearing the top floor as they look to try and dig down, but there's a body round here on the white corridor who's actually rotated around to the top of the staircase. Unfortunately, if the picture delay is happening to you guys at home too, it will hopefully sort itself out soon as the utility burn happens just at the same time.
Everything being burned right there, as that means all 4 utility pieces of the lifeline will be gone. Leon gets hoping to try and contest, but in the meantime, it's some pressure from below as well. C4 will be tossed in, and we'll try and go for the gunfight here. A little bit of damage done to Shockwave, but not enough to actually go for that kill, as he tries to go for the chase. In the meantime, the player on top is actually not gone yet, as he will be dropping through that hatch. Ace is not able to help Leon Gitz in that moment in time. And as it speeds up just a little bit. VP, all members still standing, just a little bit of damage done onto Shockwave, but still no going. As WTG picks up that first kill. The SMG-11 coming in, able to take down Rips. That's the Hibana gone, that's your Heartbreacher gone. What can they do from here on forward?
Well, they're going to try and do their best, is all we can really say. And unfortunately for WTG and Shockwave, they suffer attack apiece and try to bring themselves back together. Close angles still being covered as Leon digs his way through Zulu corridor and looks to try and find anyone either side, but there's a man just behind you, Pasha, who had a very big round before. He's able to keep blood flowing. A slow creep up, doesn't give the game away with the drone, might catch somebody, but gets caught themselves. Aces finds Rask, and now they can try and apply some, but with only 19 seconds left, and still a couple of big guns left in the hands of the defenders, it's not going to be the easiest throw. Corey is going to try and stick it. The pops come out and the pings, and there's some zaps to try and drop it. Full health, is able to get it dropped in time, but there's Pasha from the backstairs, finds one, gets downed in the process. It's a 2 versus 1 post plant. It's a side by side, and there's no man's land in the middle.
Look at the HP here, Fluke. As the first heads get popped off, that means he could potentially go for a defuse now, because Jack is still with the hammer from above. Might be able to find the right angle. He gets taken down, and that means the mission will be able to get the clutch done. Virtus.pro able to pick up the round. They weren't supposed to get here. The plant was down. It was a 2-on-1 post-plant situation, but yet he manages to take it home. A mission able to get these kills in. Right after, it's VP. They'll put themselves up to 4-1 with only 1 round to go in this half.
Wow, if you wanted a way to kind of mark your territory, a post-plant clutch 2 versus 1 situation, well, that's why you kind of, you know, those are the rounds that you show up on, and those are the rounds that really go, no, this is our game, this is our map, this is our round, and this is our chance to kind of fight our way back through. Obviously, it's a double elim bracket. There is a lower bracket to kind of make sure you pull yourself on, but that's not how these guys play. That's not how they're thinking. They're looking for this first victory. The opening game of the major, cement your status, knock out the #1 team, push them down to the lower bracket, and assert yourself. Virtus.pro, you are definitely leading those charges.
Attackers have located a bomb.
4 weeks to prepare for this event, just like every other participating team. Sorry,
I muted myself. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going for some very stunned silence. Obviously,
no. I was actually making a point.
Yes.
But I muted myself.
I'm sure the point was great. Do you want to make it again? We've got time.
I can. Let's just rewind and act like nothing happened.
Okay.
Yes, but Fluke, you and I, we both know there's 2 sides to Game of Siege, and
yes,
if Rogue managed to pick up 1 more round, you and I both know as well that that is enough for Cafe on your first half.
That's it. It's the 4-2 split. It's generally what everybody kind of aims for on this trade. Obviously, they're on a slightly different rhythm of sites due to the doubling down of Kitchen in the middle. But again, if you're having a mental game and if you're having a bit of a slow in terms of the aggression that you can put down and in terms of the control that you can put down, being able to clutch out a situation, it's one of those highlight reel moments. It's one of those moments where you go, okay, this is how we're playing this game. We put us against any odds, put us against any amount of control you've got, and we will take it back.
2 minutes left on the clock for Rogue to try and get their second round on the board. Will they be able to find it? Oh, Shockwave starts things off by taking down Leon yet again, who's definitely not having a good first map here. Doesn't seem like it. C4 will be wasted though. That is at least going for Rogue. They have that one going. As it will give them the opportunity to deal or care about one piece of utility less, but there's still going to be 2 available on the board right here. Shockwave tries to flank around on the white stairs hallway. It's not going to be able to find anybody yet. Punch holes being created right here. Ace is going off the angle at the wrong timing here. Could have picked up a kill instead, will be spotted out, and Kusaka will be losing about half his HP as he sledges that shield.
Well, White Corridor's turning into a bit of a huge battle as it needs to be, a little bit too close to the fire there. Goya, an operator highlighted before as being a big part of the play, is obviously out for control here. We haven't seen a huge stretch of him. We haven't seen a huge use of utility so far, but hey, in this play space, it's not as maneuverable as it can be in some other maps. Here comes an attempt at some close pressure, but they're going to back away just in time and just in case, as they felt the guns and the angles either side. Pasha, a huge amount of damage, but still standing, with WTG applying some pressure from beneath Kajeka. Well, he needs a bit of support, and Aces is going to try and offer it below.
Trying to put some rounds through that door. However, not going to be able to hit anybody. Well, it took a little bit of damage onto Pasha, but not enough to actually go for the kill, as he instantly hit the deck. The Aces now to try and take care of any mute jammers with that breaching ramp through the drone hole. Smart placement right there from that breaching round, and that means that rips will now be able to open up. Kairos will go off. 15 seconds. They need to go for an eventual plant now. There is not enough time for them to try and go for the kills right here. They need to move. Shockwave will be picking up yet another kill, and it's VP yet again to snap their fingers and close out the round. WTG with a triple kill, I believe, and it's VP to go with a 5-1 lead into that second half. A very commanding lead, a very comfortable lead, and only needing 2 rounds themselves to completely close this off and get that first map into their hands.
Wow, unfortunately, the sleeping giants of Rogue are still slightly sleepy. It seems they haven't shown up, as I said before, with the same fire that they had towards the mid and late end of the season itself. And Virtus.pro, they've completely come out of this guns planning. A 9-2 in the hands of Emizian is such a big step up and step into this firefight. We want to obviously have a heck of a team talk now in the Rogue camp and see if they can go, okay, 5-1 on this. Take a bit more from them as expected, and well, they're going to start on the top floor and see if they can work their way down.
They'll have to work their way down, as Cafe seems to be very fair. They have played it 3 times, as Daz said before as well. This is a very, well, not in the end, as Daz, but he said it, you know, in our intercollegial conversations, that I shouldn't be throwing out these hot words I prepared. He said that Cafe is a map that VP feels really comfortable on.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Okay. I mean, you know, I guess it's one of those things where obviously there's a lot of confidence and a lot of kind of swagger that these players bring to certain maps. And when you have confidence players like that, you know, it can be sometimes hit and miss. It's a double-edged sword. Is if you go to a map and you're kind of not that massively confident on it, you might bring a little bit more kind of stress, a little bit more control sometimes to your play, and it can backfire. It can be a bit too timid, it can not quite hit the mark. If you show up on a map that you're confident on and the first round or 2 don't go right, it can really negatively impact you mentally. It can really negatively pull you out of the space and pull you out of the position of, I should be doing better on this. Why am I, you know, you get in your head, and so you start to make questions, and that's the trade-off of one of those things where they might be super confident, but if it doesn't land, well.
Yeah. Indeed. 2 minutes on the first attack of VP. Already making some quick ground right here. As they're hoping to find themselves an entry, trying to deal with the player in Pixel right here, wasting the ADSs as the utility flies in. It's Kerjeka. Tries to hold them up, but will decide to fall back. As Ras gets the kill in. First one to start off. Leon Gates will fall yet again. He's not having the best game of his life right here. As Pasha finds yet another one. It's Aces to fall. It's going to be a double entry that VP needs to get going for, especially this round. If they manage to straight away lock this one out, they're going to be on match point for 5 consecutive rounds, Fluke. That will be a huge deal right here. Something that Rogue will be having to deal with all the pressure that will be coming along with it.
Wow, the C4 doesn't quite make its way through the hole, and WTG gets to live and gets to instantly swarm into the bathroom. They have a big angle and they take care of Rips. Look for the second and find it. Kajeka gets dropped to the top of white stairs. Corey, dug in the freezer, is able to pull one back as Ross is slowed down. There's a second and there's almost a third, but Virtus.pro and Amision is able to put them on to map point 6-1.
6-1. That gives us 5 consecutive map points for VP to work with. 5 rounds where they can put themselves up 1 leg into the upper bracket final, or the winner's match, as you might call. Due to the fact, of course, we play a double elimination bracket. Are they going to be able to reach it? Look at the mission right here. 10-on-2, absolutely gunning. Showing up huge here for Virtus.pro. But who isn't? Only Rask right now. Not positive KD, but that's not a big deal if you're 6-1 in front.
I think that's it as well. As I said, they all seem to be stepping into this firefight, stepping into this game so smoothly. It's the difference of kind of prep, I guess. Obviously, as everybody said before, I said obviously too many times, nevertheless, it is kind of put before us, is they've had time to go over each other's strats, each other's kind of play style after the season, where both these rosters had slight changes before they found their way in. Hey, Sticula's back all the way from APAC to the center of EU. High octane action. I think that's the thing that Tim said as well, is all of these games, sure, there are expected favorites, as we expected Rogue to be the favorite of this game, but it in no way means it's not going to be a fight. Virtus.pro are trying to mean it's not a fight, but in no way that anybody really expected when you woke up this morning.
Definitely so. VP stepping up huge, but we might have to credit that a lot to the map veto here and give VP a lot of credit for that one, because Cafe is really their map as one of the Black Guys gets taken out straight away, but there's a second one hidden a bit deeper inside of the building, and I mean, who expects a Valkyrie to put down 2 Black Guys onto the same wall, right?
Hey, it's a double down strategy. It's the kind of thing, you know, and I'm not in any way calling it a gold play. I'm just going to preface this with that. But it's those gold plays where you don't expect it because it's not the frequent. It's you just there in peculiar places, holding peculiar angles and doing peculiar things. Rask gets taken by Leon, who's hanging around in Cigar Shop, gets the first. Unfortunately, gets traded from the skylight, but well, that's the sledge off the board. That's a big bit of vertical control, and that is generally most of their soft destruction gone too. They obviously still have Pasha. I'm not sure if they have any charges anywhere across the board outside of obviously Amision. No, all flashes, all cooks, all Ash now.
How did they not drone him out on that position? He just dropped him with 2 to 3 people, not knowing he was hiding in sight there. Well, they managed to get the refrag, and that's the important bit here. So going to be a one-on-one trade. Leon gone. Managed to get the entry.
A bomb has been located.
For the Rask, I think that VP took the harder hit with the verticality gone, and also the 2 sets of grenades. As in the meantime, Corey will be able to be possibly picked up. No, not yet. Falls back into sight. As Pasha also had to fall back due to being out of ammo in his R4C in that case, in that moment in time. As we have 65 seconds left. VP will come back to the drones and try to find out where these last remaining members are and what they need to clear out before they can start with their execute, and Pasha does exactly that.
Well, there's a big trade and there's a big blow to the hands of VP from the hands of Aces. Now it's just a matter of seeing if they can capitalize upon this. They've been able to get the man advantage, but they've had that before and things haven't quite worked their way. Trying to push down White Corridor and trying to take a bit of land that has otherwise been completely out of their grasp so far thanks to the guns of Rogue. They're looking for a bit of a split push here, but you think about how much utility they've burnt just getting this vertical control. They're still concerned about the smoke playing underneath. Sure, Corey's low health. They still have utility, still have capability, and well, it's still Corey. They've clutched up before.
They have clutched up before. So did VP, winning an unwinnable round.
Attackers have recovered their
At least it looked like as WTG now moving in will be able to be picked up. Aces with a triple kill. It's all up to Shockwave now. Starts it up with 5 seconds left. And the diffuser dropped on the other side of the map. It is going to be an unwinnable round, and he will not even be able to find the kill. Kajeka finishing him off. It's Rogue to come back, at least for now. Able to put up their second round on the board. And their comeback to a potential overtime, because we do have them here in these best of threes. Something we would not have in the EUL group stages.
It's great to see. It's one of those things, obviously, when we're really going to get the full stretch of these teams, we're going to get a perfect idea, because you look at the scores throughout the season, there was very little like 7-1s, 7-2s. A lot of these teams, sure, we've ended up with the top 4 here, but you look how close it was for Virtus.pro to actually be here. It came down to their game versus Navi. It came down to them beating another team that was on equal points and equal kind of stretch, and them getting the place that way round. There was so much late game maths that went into that final playday that I'm sure you loved.
All right.
bomb located by attackers.
I just don't know what's going to be coming next, because VP in their first attacking round, they seemed so confident, and then during this one, they didn't really seem to have a clue about what was exactly going on.
Whoa.
This might be trying to...
Who's that on screen?
It's our colleague.
She just can't stop.
It's geometric.
She can't
oh, wait,
stop being
geo,
on
sorry.
screen. Yeah, it's just geo. Metric.
I was reading out. Yeah. We could go further, but she'll hate us forever if we do that.
Geometric electric.
Yes.
6-2 Virtus.pro, and well, if we cast our mind back, this is where you got your attacking round before, I believe. Yes, it was your first time around the kitchen, and the second was, well, not great. The second didn't really come together. There was a very strong hold in VIP. Let's see if you can replicate the same thing. You're putting the Valkyrie cameras on the far side. You have your top floor control. There was none of this from Virtus.pro. They really didn't stretch the vertical roam game. They had a flat hold. They held it like old school clubhouse basement. They just locked themselves in with big angles across the big wide play space you're offered, and kind of said, okay, try and root us out. The first time it was successful, but the second time, well, they were just always on the shoulder.
As drones are coming out, the information is being gathered on both sides, of course. We have the black eyes of Aces ready to find out where the push will be coming from, and the drones from Virtus.pro to find out where these attackers, or defenders I must say, are hiding to try and deal with them. WTG is going to be going on to the chase right here. Knows that there's going to be one player, but didn't expect the second one. Aces to come in to be there for the crossfire. And Aces will be able to pick up that kill with the MPX. Punch now being created, a bit of a wall bang attempted. Not able to hit anybody as of yet. Grenade will be cooked, will be tossed into the wrong direction potentially, as Corey managed to survive that. Shockwave in the meantime with a response onto Aces, and that means only one player is left upstairs, and as I said, that will be taken down by Pasha. And that is exactly what VP needs for this roundup. 2 roamers already cleared out with 90 seconds still on the clock, having that 1-man advantage.
Well, C4 in hand and a pulse offering all the support you can. This is one of those situations where you go, come on, you got to make this dream team work. You can only imagine the comms of, where are they? Find them for me. It's like going fishing, but a very aggressive reverse fishing. Waiting, baiting, saying hold. Okay, he's gone the wrong way. It's an unfortunate moment, but hey, they're coming back. Leon's going to be feeding that in. They have the pop, they have the ability. They have the poor timing, unfortunately. It was a little bit too early, but hey, almost beautiful.
Not being safe, and thus they are sorry, as the second C4 will be tossed in, and somehow not dealing a single point of damage onto Shockwave. Leon Gates then decides to go aggressive, but will be taking more damage than he was actually hoping to receive. Drone spotted him out, and that is, well, basically explaining why Shockwave was waiting for him in that moment in time. Zek is still playing in VIP. You see Pasha right now trying to get rid of him, tossing in these flashbangs, holding the angle because he knows that he will be peaked soon. As the drop-in now comes in, both members now finding themselves on site right here at VP. There's still going to be one holding off the VIP member. One more from above. Rips will be able to start things off, though. Diffuser will be dropped, not to the second time, though, as Rask will be able to get himself in bunker. Has to go for a plan, though. 3 seconds left. He will be covered off by Pasha. Is it going to be enough, however? No, it doesn't seem to be the case. The time is running out. Is he going to be able to get this kill? No, he's not. The plant, however, goes down. And Rask manages to get it. He wanted to go for the secure for that kill, for the down he had. And thus VP will manage to win it. Get it in 7-2. A very convincing first map to come into the hands of Virtus.pro.
I mean, what a way to start this tournament in their books. What a way for them to, as I said before, early on, they were asserting aggression, they were asserting a dominance, and they were asserting themselves as a team to watch because, well, us included, a lot of people had not counted them out, but I guess counted them in a bit of a tough spot in their first matchup against Rogue. But